you've ever asked yourself, how can I get the swing and the golf game that I've always imagined without trying every tip, every training aid, watching every video after video on social media, then this podcast is for you. Welcome. I'm Daniel Guest, and welcome to the Imagen Golf Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Imagen Golf and PXG. All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Imagen Golf Podcast. I am super stoked to have Patrick Koenig. Patrick, good afternoon, all the way from Laguna Beach, California. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. We were just talking about how dang sunny it is over here. The
Yeah.
half the country's under snow and freezing their feet off, and we're sweating.
Yeah, I was saying to Patrick, I was almost cursing, man. It's 10 degrees here in Philadelphia, and it's hot, he said, out in California. So, but you did give me the caveat that that's why you pay so much money to live out there. So, I
Yeah,
kind of get that, right? Absolutely.
yeah. Our cost of rent or living is running at a faster pace than I think out there in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Philadelphia's getting pretty expensive, man. So,
It's expensive everywhere. I shouldn't say that because you can always find a way to spend a bunch of money here in America.
yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, I'd met Patrick out at the I had followed him before on Instagram and actually watched a couple of his trips. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you don't know Patrick, he I don't believe he's the current record holder, but was the record holder for the most golf courses played in a 12-month span. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, in 2023, I played 580 different golf courses, and I motivated a kid in the UK to go for it. And he called me up, said he was going to go for it. And I told him, go, man," because it is I, the record's nice, but when it comes down
Yeah.
to it, it's the experience and living that dream for a year. That's the real record. And I was like, I want you to experience that as well. And so I think it's cool. I mean, the fact that that I was able to inspire somebody to have such a really cool experience, and
Yeah.
he broke that record, and good for him. So it's now just I held the North American record. Somebody
Yeah.
told me that the
Well,
other day, and it's like, okay, consolation
yeah.
prize.
Yeah, I'll take it, man. But just the fact you even held the record is badass, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and the story, I remember following it's so funny how things happen, man, because I remember following you actually did 2 tours, I remember, right? You did a
Mm.
first one where it wasn't as I'll just call it successful, meaning you didn't do 580 courses, right? And it was a little bit different. And then I followed the second one, and then I ended up running into you at the PGA show. It was kind of funny
Yeah.
for me. And my wife was like, "Hey, you're kind of starstruck." Well, I'm like, "Hey, man, I watched this guy do some of this stuff, man." So why don't you tell? I mean, you have an amazing story, right? 2018, you just picked up and quit your job. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it went down. I mean, I didn't pick anything up, I just kinda dropped it?
Right.
Um, but it's
Exactly.
I was a normal dude. I say normal, nobody's really normal.
Right.
Everybody's got a unique story to tell. But I was like
Right.
a lot of folks where I had a job and sales, and I was, making decent money. I was successful at it, and my money that I could spend went to golf trips and playing golf courses, and that's what I love to do. And I got a little bit when Instagram came out. I started to get a following for my course photographs, and I was
Right.
I was just an amateur. I've always thought being on a golf course is my favorite place in the world. There's nothing like watching the sunset as you're hitting a little ball around a field. There's something about it. Those listening will certainly get it. It is it's to, I was a golfer, right?
Right.
And so once I started getting a following on Instagram for me, just kind of putting these photographs up there, people started saying, "Hey, can I buy these?" And I was like, maybe I should get good at this. Maybe I should be the best in the world at this. That was my goal. It still is my goal to become the best golf course photographer in the world. And yeah, it seems bold to be the best at anything, but why not? That's a great goal to go after. So I've kind of been chasing that. I got a lot of opportunities through just having a decent following on social media, and people invited me to come and play their golf courses, come and shoot their golf courses, and I was just having so much fun with it, and it was burning. I was trying to do a job, and then I was also like trying. I have a hard time saying no to opportunities in
Right.
golf because they always feel like this dream. And eventually, I just said, "What if I quit my job and got an RV and just drove around and played a bunch of golf courses?" Like, I had some savings saved up. I was like, "I could probably pull this off, and
Right.
uh, and maybe I could find a way." to just work in golf. I was selling hosted voice over IP solutions and collaboration tools to medium to large businesses in the San Francisco Bay Area at the time, which is
Right, so
not
you
a
weren't traveling the country, though? You weren't like, a national account rep that traveled?
no, I had it was just mostly Bay Area, so I had a sales territory in the Bay Area, which is stocked with great prospects. So,
Yeah, got it.
no, there was not I wasn't traveling. I was just golfing and selling.
Right.
And,
That's
that was kind of the thing because you get sick and tired of seeing all these golf courses that you're just never gonna get to. And
right.
and I wanted to play them all, and I'm just like, "Man, there's 15 courses here. I'd take 2 weeks." Like, how much vacation are you? You're like, "It ain't happening." And, so I needed to quit that job, and the RV was the best way that I could just see every one of them because I would just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
drive from course to course, sleep in the RV. I'd be like, "Oh, that's the only way to do this sort of exploration that I wanted to do." And I had a goal of seeing if I could turn it into a career in golf. So that's when I quit my job. My boss was cool with it. She was like, "Do it. Do it."
Right.
And it's funny, I ran into her. She saw me 2 tours later driving this thing. She follows me on social media, driving my
Right, right, right.
RV, second RV. She honked at me and sent me a text message. You know, so it
So
was like this great, everybody's supportive of,
yeah, it's like
everybody.
coming full circle. So, you said a ton there, man, but it for those that don't know, like, the average golfer only plays, like, 18 to 20 rounds a year. I mean, a whole year, right? I can remember right around the same time frame, like the 2018, 2019, time frame, I was traveling the country with my corporate job, and I made a commitment that I was gonna play once a week for 52 weeks. And that was not easy to do, right?
No,
You know,
no,
and I had, I know you have a baby girl now. I had 2 small kids and I had a wife and I
yeah.
had demands and, it was not easy to do. And I don't remember exactly how many I did it, but, I played a lot of cool courses. The same, I didn't have a social media following back then, but I did have the opportunity where friends and relatives definitely helped me out. Hey, come see me here, play the, Dallas National or whatever.
Mhm.
So that was kind of cool, man. But you mentioned the RV. You didn't have the RV when you started. Then you got an RV. You had some challenges with the RV. Then you got another RV. Why don't you walk us through how the whole RV thing happened?
Yeah, I mean, the first RV was definitely a little more Cousin Eddie vibes, as I like to call it.
Right. Right.
'Cause it was personally financed, but to me, it was like this dream because it was what it represented, the kind of the freedom and,
Yeah.
to go and just golf. I wasn't chasing a record, I was just kind of I had my courses, and I knew I wanted to play golf every day, and that's what I did. But boy, the RV life, you gotta be ready for everything, and I mean everything, to break on that thing. The first big thing that pissed me off was the slide out broke, which if
Yeah.
you
The
people
step
know anything
or
about
whatever. Right.
RVs. Yeah, I mean, there's 2 different sets of nightmares. Now, both RVs will all have their challenge. That's just I mean, they made a movie about it. Robin Williams did. It
Yeah.
was obviously dramatic, but everything on that thing breaks. But you kinda deal with it because it's the glory of, being in a new place every day and having your home, just be outside of a movie theater. You watch a movie, come back out, you're in the parking lot, just sleep there, you know? So, I mean, that's the reason you put up with these sort of things. Gosh, I wish I had the list in front of me. It's in the book that I wrote about
Right.
all the different things that were wrong with this thing, but, there were definitely some moments. The AC units broke in both of the units, leading to, like, my fridge went down, the stairs broke, the windshield wipers were garbage, the water worked and then didn't work. I mean, at least I never had any issues with my tires the entire time on both of them. That thing, I
Well,
was like, maybe I get a flat tire or something would be god awful.
that would
Um,
be god awful. That
that
would
never
absolutely,
happened. I ripped the entire exhaust system off the bottom of my second RV, which was
yeah,
which was
horrible.
pretty badass thing to do. It just like I was just turning in a corner in a parking lot, the tailpipe caught like a curb and just, like, tore it under, and in an instant, that thing was, like, bent backwards. Like, I had to have a guy come and cut it off while I was playing golf, and then I took it to a when I drove it, it was loud as hell, man. This thing was like 'cause, the exhaust has also got the muffler on there,
Oh, God,
and it
yeah.
was, man, it was like firing up I don't even know, like a belt gun.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knew I was coming. Fortunately, there was a guy in Palm Springs that helped me with that second issue. Um, Holy crap. Another story that was in the book. This was a funny one. And I'm driving in New York. This is the first tour in 2018. Driving to New York, going to, Pound Ridge. People know it.
Yep.
It's a Pete Dye course,
Yep.
public place, kind of yeah, you're driving through some trees and some areas and stuff, and I'm like, it's bouncy. The roads in New York are god awful. They're horrible, man, and, they don't fix them ever, and so this thing is, like, banging around, shaking. It shook the microwave out of the wall one time. I had to, like,
Yeah.
I really drilled that son of a bitch back in there, but I'm banging
Yeah, let
around.
me stop there for a quick second, because if you haven't driven a RV, you what you just said can't be understated. When you hit a bump, everything vibrates in the damn thing, right?
Yeah,
And God forbid you hit the brakes hard because everything flies forward on you, you know?
you
It's a
really yeah, you can't I mean, 'cause you realize as a humans, we leave things on tables and stuff all the time,
yeah,
but if you leave anything and things that you even think are nailed down, they just go flying. They just
yeah,
everything
it's
you kinda get used to putting everything away, and then you also just get used to, like, the bangs in the back, and you kind of
yeah,
know, "Oh, that was not a bad bang. That wasn't
yeah,
super loud." But I'm driving, and then this one was like there was, like, a bang that didn't sound particularly bad, but then there was, like, like a hissing sound or a whoosh kind of noise, and I'm like, "That doesn't sound good." And then I saw, like, some smoke
uh-oh.
from like, coming up, and I'm like, "Holy shit, the thing is on fire," So I jump out, and I get into the back, and I realize that it wasn't, actually on fire, but the whole room was filled with, like, this powder stuff. So the fire extinguisher in the stairwell had, like, dislodged, and
Oh, and then
it
bounced around
got
and went off?
and it got depressed, like, against the stairwell, like, it was a kind of a freak thing that it basically just deployed its payload into the into the living room, and that sucked. Anybody that's ever deployed one of those things as a prank or something, and,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
freaking mess. So that was good and fun, but it's like, little adventures like that. We made it, those are the stories, those are the things that, like, it sucked in the moment, but, like, looking back, it was pretty hilarious, and,
Yeah,
I
it's
I
absolutely
remember
true, like, I have a 26-year-old son, and we have a 26-year-old son, and, we took a 28-foot, RV to this year's Ryder Cup, and
Mhm.
we don't know anything about RVs, man. I've driven one, multiple times, but we still don't know anything about them. Make a long story short, we were going to New York, obviously, where it was this year, and I said to my son, "Hey, man, I'm a busy dude, you're in charge of the route." I said, "And you gotta make sure that it's like a 12-foot
Screwed,
clearance, because if it's
screwed.
not, we're gonna take the top right off of this thing," right?
Yeah, I
You
know
know, I
that
bought
one.
the insurance, we were good to go. So, you probably know where I'm going with this, man. We're driving down the thruway, and, I said, "Man, are you sure, man?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're good, we're good." Well, we get
Mhm.
about not even an eighth of a mile, man, before Patrick, this bridge, and I can see the big numbers on the bridge. It says, like, 10-6,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah,
And,
you're probably on, like, Throg's Neck right there. That's a
that's
dangerous
exac
one.
that's
Yeah, I
exactly
tell you
right.
yeah, yeah. So the thing about driving in New York, especially in RV, is that the city was designed with these parkways, which they were meant
Right.
for leisurely driving back in the day. To say it nicely, I think it was more of an effort to segregate the, communities in New York area, but they were all built to restrict, large delivery vehicles from going on there, so they
Right.
built all these bridges at, like, 10, 12 feet. Any parkway is basically a beheading for, an RV. And
Exactly
so
right.
it's like high risk, man. You're driving and, like, there's no app that really does a good job of
That's
labeling,
exactly
you know,
right. Yep.
and I think it's because I mean, I thought about this while I'm driving, but Google Maps, they could do it. I don't think they want to because of liability issues, right? Somebody goes down and it's
Yeah, that makes sense.
13 and 12 feet. So they have really no interest in doing it. Not a huge demand for it, but so you have to, like, bust out the old map and do it old school if you want to avoid some of these things. But fortunately, the New Yorkers all know about it, and they'll honk at you, which I'm assuming happened to you,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
you
that's
guys
exactly
got
right.
less of it.
That's
I
exactly
had
right.
one this is funny, in Boston, when I'm driving and, just you gotta pay attention, and, like, I obviously missed a sign that said low clearance because I hit one of those they have a swinging sign. I'm not the first person to obviously do
Oh,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah.
highway. And so I hit it and swing it and immediately realize what happens. It's rush hour. It's like just packed. And so I see ahead what's going on and like I see that I have to get over. And I was like, oh, if I don't go over like 4 lanes of rush hour traffic immediately right now, like the highway patrol is gonna have to like back me up. It's gonna be awful. So
We
I just laid on the horn as loud, and
right.
they just slowly just started cutting people off. Like I just started moving over, just like an irate, just 20 or 30 people just throwing a fit. Maybe they realized what I was doing, but everybody I got over in like the nick of time. It was unnecessarily dramatic. Holy cow! We could have an hour where I just talk
Yeah.
about the dumb stuff that happens in RVs, especially, 2 years and, I think I 48 states that I played golf in over those 2 things. So I've seen and done just about everything you can imagine with an RV.
Yeah, that's hysterical, man. So, getting back to the tour, if you would, the second tour, right? I read that you, well, obviously you did it in 12 months, right? But you had you broke the record with like 77 days to spare, right?
Mm.
Uh, I
Yeah,
think the record was like, don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 449, 450 or something like that, right?
yeah.
Uh,
449 was the previous record that had stood for 13 years, mostly just
wow.
because people aren't trying this. This is like nobody's like, "Hey, do you got a couple $100,000 you wanna blow through playing golf?"
Yeah. Right, right, right.
Most people say, "Nah." Yeah,
And
it was.
on
I mean,
Christmas Day, right? You played on Christmas Day?
I played on Christmas Day. I took a week off. I had a Tiger Woods photo shoot at Pebble
Yeah,
Beach, and so I took
that's
7
awesome.
days off to do that. It was a great job, so,
Right.
I didn't wanna miss out on that. That was but other than that, I played every single day, that I could.
Yeah, you played 36 holes on your girlfriend's birthday, that's amazing, right? I don't know how you pull that off, right?
She was oh my gosh, Rachel, we can't say enough things about the lovely Rachel Alcone, which we've got a kiddo now.
Yep.
We're getting married here in a couple weeks, so
Congrats, man.
we put the kid first. That was a purposeful thing. We were like, "Let's have a kid." It's just got what you kinda realize why people do it in the order they do. No, no,
Right.
we've done things that you should not do in your relationship, and, we're still it's awesome, like, the fact that she's so supportive and stuck with me
Yeah.
through that thing. She would come out on the road, and she's got 2 kids as well, bring lovely Gwen and Ava, and they'd bring me a cake with a number on it that was correspondent with the course that I was on. It was just like, it was tough. No, I'm not saying it was like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
this is great," but women like Rachel and her little girls are few and far in between, and somehow I found that one.
Yeah, I got one of those at home, her name's Colleen, so we've been married 30 years, so, we could do a weeks-long podcast on all the stuff she's put up with me, so, I get that,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
so,
Yeah, they would
um
they would love that. Rachel and we just talked about how great they are for an hour.
that's exactly
They'll listen
right,
to this
right.
podcast with me.
Exactly. So listen, that's a great segue, man. Looking back, um, I think I even already know this. Would there be anything that you do differently, right? Would you do anything differently, or were you just like, "Hey,
Hey.
you know what? It is what it was, and, I had a great time doing it, and, I don't think I'd change it." What do you think?
Yeah, I'd golf more.
What?
If I knew somebody was coming for like, I would have loved to know his number that he finished at, and then I just would
Yeah,
have done that and made it more difficult for him. I would have golfed, yeah. No, generally speaking, the both of those years were very fulfilling,
right.
um and, I look back at them, like, I'll go to places that I've been before during the thing, and I was like, "I remember that RV parked right there." Sometimes I went to the same place and parked in the same spot, and it's just like I have a warm feeling for any of those courses that I played, and there's nearly 1,000 of them. So all over the country, I have these great little memories, and, maybe I would have it would have been interesting to have, a video component to it because I took a lot of photographs.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
kind of one man show, man. I did a podcast, I was doing photographs, social media, fun little social cut videos, things along that nature, and plenty of press and stuff. But it would have been really good to have, and we looked at some options, just expensive to do it right, and never really
Right.
had the money to have a video team, come out maybe every twice a month or something, and put together a video piece that did this justice. So you can see it's like me waking up and be like, it's freaking raining, and some of this, you play in the rain, and so like some of these things are not particularly like a golfer's dream. Some of them, some days are pretty great. You wake up, perfect day, let's go play Shinnecock Hills. Hell yeah, that's a
Yeah.
that's a great day. You wake up
Yeah.
another day and the parking lot is a river, and they let you. you play golf, and you're out there by yourself. So there's days where and there's moments where it's not great, but, that would have been interesting to have, that sort of content.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
wrote a book about it and, it lives in my memories and my dreams, and I feel like that's pretty good. We may have gotten some more legs out of a documentary type piece that would have, brought more folks into, you'd have done a better job of getting it out so people could have followed along and, had as much fun as I did. We certainly had a
Yeah.
lot. I welcomed any golfer that reached out to me to join the tour. I played with thousands of them, and it was like that was the best part, man, because people that got it and were following along were, like, so stoked for the RV to pull into the
I
driveway and be
bet.
like, "This is rad," and we'd play and have the time of our lives, and then they'd sign the guest book, and they'd donate to the first tee. We raised over, uh, geez, I think like 40 grand or something for the
Yeah.
first tee. A lot of money,
Yeah.
which is blows my mind, really
Yeah.
cool, and so, that could have been I would just look back and it could have been bigger and better,
Yeah.
but part of the beauty of it was that it kind of grew and it was what it was, and, I don't feel bad about it or
Yeah.
like
Hey, Daniel here. If you're looking to get new clubs, you need to consider PXG. And I know what you're thinking. PXG is too expensive, or I'm not good enough to get fitted for clubs. And look, I'm here to tell you that neither is true. PXG is no more expensive than any of the top manufacturers out there, and everyone and anyone will benefit from getting fitted for clubs. And here's the best part, it's literally free. That's right. Getting fit at PXG is free. So when you're ready to get a new driver, new woods, new irons, or even a new putter, simply let me know and I'll help you get the swing and the game you've always imagined with a new set of clubs from PXG. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean,
there's
I
no
think,
there's no
you know,
regret.
no, I would agree with that, right? Because you don't know that it would have been the same look and feel, right? Like it may have had a different feel, with this more grandiose, approach to it, and this video crew following you might not have been as everything that you thought it would be. You
Sure.
mentioned the book. The book is amazing. It's called The United States of Golf. Um, it's man, if you appreciate good photography, the book is rock solid on that. Were you working the whole time, or did work kind of morph from the golf, or did you plan on writing the book the whole time? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's interesting because the second time around, the first time was just kinda me having fun, I'm
Yeah,
spending my money. The second time around, I had a great sponsor called Golf Gamebook, which was an app that I kept all my scores in so people would follow along and, like, they literally could see on the 13th hole, Pat just made a, double, great,
right,
so, so it was technically like golfing was work, and creating content, that was my job, so I was always working, depending on how you define that, but always taking photographs, always sticking around for the sunset, that was what I loved to do, and I was, not slouching on my efforts with photographing every single golf course that I went to,
right.
which, that's a chore. I mean, I it's a lot of work to do, especially good photography and get it
Yeah, I was
right
just gonna
and then
say to do it right,
photograph.
right? It's not easy. Not like you just have your phone, you're pulling your phone out of your pocket and taking a picture.
Yeah, I mean, there was no downtime. Like, people were like,
Right.
"Oh, oh, this is gonna be cool. You play some golf, then just, like, go watch some Netflix." I'm like, "Dude, no, I'm not, like, watching a movie." Like, I would put on Netflix in the background, but I'd be
Yeah,
editing
yeah.
photos. I'd be creating I'd be writing about it. I'd be doing editing a blog post or whatever I'm creating, but there was no I mean, I was 24/7. When I wasn't sleeping, I was working that year, but work was incredibly fun. Playing golf is a great joy, and the thing that was really challenging was the scheduling because it changes. Weather
Right.
happens, route changes, tee times. A lot of these are private courses. Over half of them are private courses, and so a member can't make it. You can't just show up to play a lot of these places. So
Yeah. No, that's a
coordinating
good
that.
point.
Uh, and then coordinating with all the people that were having me out. That was another thing I wish I could have played with every single person that reached out to me. Fortunately, I made it to a lot of them. Not everybody. I'm sure there's people out there that are sour that I dissed them,
Yeah.
but, like,
I'm
I
still
made
pissed, man. You didn't play
I
with me,
tried
man. I'm
my
still bummed out.
yeah, if they're listening, like, I tried my best and, it didn't reach everybody, so, I mean, that's another thing, it's like, if I were to do this again, and, like, you could have 5 jobs, you could have a social media guy, you could have a driver, you could have a route coordinator, and,
Yeah.
all these things that,
Yeah,
would
you need
make
$1,000,000, but you could do all that.
yeah, you could really make this big if you were to really think about how would you do a traveling golf tour like I mean, it's essentially a tour, so it's
Yeah, it
like
really is.
the PGA Tour is a
Yeah,
thing. So it's kinda like this one was I had some great guests join along the route, and it was super fun, but it was kind of this, um, amateur effort if you could compare it to the other golf tours of the world, but, I've
yeah,
seen it. I've inspired a whole bunch of people. I know that, I think the Golfers Journal guys have got a van, and they doing a little tour, and they sent Casey around in that thing, and they're doing events and stuff like that. So there's all these really cool versions of kind of living that lifestyle and exploring the world of golf in America. I mean, it's a tremendous landscape, and you could do this tour like I probably could do it 5 times before I'd be like, all right, I really got it covered. You know, you could do like
well,
one tour in Florida.
yeah, well, you spent a lot of time in California, like 106 of the courses are
Yeah.
played in California. That's a big number, right?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
big chunk. I mean, California's got it's probably the best state for golf where you look at everything that it has. I mean, California is massive. It's
yep.
essentially two states with Northern and Southern California.
Yeah, and 2 totally
So
different ends of it, right? I mean, y to your point, you can
yeah,
see totally different things, man. And for those that are wondering like, "Hey, is this guy even a good golfer?" You didn't hit too many doubles, man. You hit 477 doubles the whole time out of, like, 55 or almost 45,000 shots, so you're a good
yeah,
golfer. Your best score, I think, was, what, 67, I think, over the tour?
yeah. I mean, I didn't get much more than double was really kind of like my high. I think I sprinkled a couple triples in there and
Right,
maybe, a handful of quads, but it's like and those were really didn't happen too often. What happens when you play this much golf is you get pretty good.
right.
Like, I mean, I don't think I have the talent to become a tour professional no matter what I did. I would have to certainly change my entire approach to golf and practicing and short game putting. And I kind of learned that about me that I really kind of maxed out as a scratch golfer. My average for the entire tour, I think was 77.8 was the final
Yeah,
number, something along those lines.
yeah.
And, I had a low score of, 67 and a high
Yep,
score, I had a 92, which really kinda pissed me off. Out of all the times, I had one score in the 90s, and it was a mental lapse, man. I was like that dude. I just was grumpy. I was blaming
right.
the course. I was being a whiny little bitch. And,
Yeah,
yeah, I remember sitting down after that round thinking like, "Yeah, that's not what I wanna do. That's not what I wanna be. That's not" people that play with it was just I was playing with another guy, and, I apologize to that fella for having to witness me at my worst. But I don't know how bad it was, but I was certainly ashamed with my behavior that day, and, that's golf has a
it
great
happens.
job
Yeah,
of
it
jumping up and being
happens.
like, "Dude, you're a golfer and you're a human and you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna continue to make more mistakes." And, like, I kinda said, "Let's just own this and, you know, call it what it is and don't try to make excuses and just be better." And, I remember that moment. I was eating cereal. It was um, apple cinnamon Cheerios, and I went back out and, I shot like a 72 that day that afternoon, which, I mean, the golf gods they came around in a hurry. It's not supposed to work that fast, but, no, there was a lot of good golf. I mean, I made a lot of birdies, had some great rounds, and the short game gets good because you're so dialed with the feel of the turf and how the ball reacts to your wedges and out of the bunkers and different grasses. You really when you play that much and hit that many shots, you just kinda get a feel for it, and,
Yeah,
I never had a chance really to get rusty. Although when I took that 7-day break, which is wild because if you play a lot of that much golf and then you take 7 days off, which now wouldn't be a thing for me, I'd be like, "Oh, whatever." It felt like I hadn't swung a club in a year, because I was so used to every day, and so it
right.
took me, like 9 full holes to, like, kinda realize what I was doing, and then by the time I'd played my 2nd round of that day, I was, like, back in the groove, so
So you mentioned the golf gods. I mean, I would think, right, you play that many rounds, and that many shots. I would think an ace, you'd throw an ace in every once in a while. Do you find it odd that you didn't hit a hole in one?
Good lord, man. So it's kind of funny because, I just realized I counted them up the other day, and I've witnessed in my lifetime, now 13 hole in ones, which is a good
Yeah.
amount for just
Yeah,
to
it
wit
is. I've witnessed 6.
Yeah, that's big time. Those are big
Yeah.
numbers, and, I mean, I witnessed more last year playing a fraction amount, but no, there was no hole-in-ones on that second tour. My buddy Evan Johnson made a hole-in-one I think it was, like, the 7th hole at Terranea, the links at Terranea,
Right.
and he was the only one to make a hole-in-one out of those 2 tours, around the sun. I have 0 in my lifetime,
Same here,
which
man.
is
Same. I've done everything, but I have 2 albatrosses. One I didn't even see, which they're way rarer
that's
than a hole in one.
yeah, the
Um,
albatross is a boss thing. Like, I mean, there's
yeah.
the albatross, yeah, I'd take that over a hole-in-one any day. That's some
People
serious.
say that until you do it, and you're like, "You know what? That was an amazing shot, but I wanna step off a tee box, and I wanna pick my ball out of the." I mean, just something about a hole in one that,
It's it's
I
the
don't know,
only
it's
thing
special.
it's the only thing that's in golf that's perfect.
Yeah.
There's no other thing that's perfect aside for a hole-in-one. Like, I mean, I guess you could have rolled down the cart path on a par 5, and even though you made that albatross too, that seems perfect, but there's a story of a guy making a hole-in-one on a par 5. That's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's, you know, I crunched the numbers. I'm like 0 for, like, 16,000 attempts in my lifetime. I've seen 3 of them, like, literally witnessed them lip out, which is tough because you have to
Yeah.
be at a right angle to,
Yeah,
you have
same
to.
thing, man. We've all seen that picture on social media where a golf ball has made such an impression on the hole that, like, half the ball is sitting there. I've done that. I swear I've dunked it playing with my son and it popped back out, and he's like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that we should count that." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not the way it works."
Yeah, it's
Um,
gotta
but
stay.
I've done everything but, I think you've played, did I read 1,800 courses in your lifetime? Does that probably sound right?
Yeah, it's exactly right. I
That
think,
is
yeah, it's getting
nuts.
closer to, like, 1900. Um, and it's interesting 'cause you say that number, and most golfers will be like, "Oh, yeah, I probably played, like, 300 myself," if you're, like, a golfer. It's like and then I go, "Well, count them," and they
Yeah,
usually come back and
and they're
like,
like
"Actually, I don't."
50.
Yeah, 50 or, like, it's usually 25 because
Exactly.
unless you're golfing and traveling, like, the number just goes up slow, I set
Yeah.
the world record for most courses in a year, and, there was a guy and this topic was on Twitter, I think, recently, the Barstool Sports guys got a hold of this idea, and, there's a couple guys out there, they pulled one dude that I think has over 3,000 courses, and I
Jeez.
think he's in his, like, 50s or 60s, it looked that way, but he was a traveling dude and just kinda, like, has done it for decades and decades of just, always playing a course. When you got an opportunity, go find a new course. Uh, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So I look at it as like, even at 1800 to get to 3000, like it's going to be another decade of consistent obsessive golf before I get there. And, yeah, I think 3000, there was somebody that, there's not really documented. So it's kind of like this lore. Somebody said somebody did 5,000. I'm pretty sure that was made up. I talked to a caddy in Bandon Dunes that casually told me he played 3,000 golf courses, and I don't know how serious he was. Like just because he's like been like, he was a young guy, and it was just like,
Right.
I don't know, maybe that it was made up. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but I know there are definitely some guys that are, over like over 2,000 into the 3,000 is about as much as anybody has played in the history of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To me, that's kind of the next. Then when I look at it, I have no real desire now that I have a kiddo to go back out there and beat that record. I know I could do it, but I don't have
Yeah. So let's
the
talk about
situation.
that. You got the book out. You got a pretty good business going with, golf course photography, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, you said in the beginning you wanted to be in the golf business. Bang, done. You said you wanted to be the best and achieve that record if you would. Bang, done. You seem like you got a ton of drive. What's next on the horizon for Patrick?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's being a dad. It really is. It's a life-changing thing, having a little
Yeah. Sure.
little kiddo. We've got this beautiful baby girl, her Holiday is her name,
Yep.
and, yeah, it's hard to I mean, I love the road, and I love playing golf and exploring and taking photographs, but, you FaceTime at night, you're like, "Man, I need to be home," and, you just kinda not that you wanna get home quicker,
Yeah.
so I think
Get it.
that's gotta be the priority. And that was a natural feeling, which I was surprised. It's like, "Man, I'm gonna resent this kid for not allowing me to play." Like, that's just the addict in me talking.
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful to be a father. And, Rachel's got 2 other little kiddos, so it's like, it's me and 4 girls in this house.
Yeah.
which is fun. It's fun,
Good
but it
luck
is
with
nice.
that, by the way.
I know, I know. It's fun, but it's nice to be like, "Oh, Casa de Campo is coming up next week." So, like, there's
Yeah.
always, like, a job that I love to do kind of waiting for me, and then you can't wait to get back home. So, I feel like that's it, for me to maybe a little bit of, consistency and normalcy, not doing so much outrageous stuff with taking honing my craft as a course photographer,
Right.
and doing these jobs and doing my job of showcasing the world's greatest golf courses in the best possible light. Yeah, and my calendar is filled up. I have a full boat of courses that have reached out to me and want me to come and visit and
Yeah, I
take
bet,
photographs.
right?
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that always like when somebody reaches out, it always feels like a dream that I get compensated to go to such places, and then I get access to do all the things that I would want to do to capture these golf courses. I just came back from I mentioned Casa de Campo.
yeah,
That's a beautiful place that people would pay and should pay thousands of dollars to go stay at that resort. It's absolutely spectacular. The service
right.
there and then the golf there. And I'm coming out there to do some work, but it feels like I'm getting away with it. And so
Like
it
you're
is
stealing
really
some.
it is yeah, it really is, but, I look at it, it's like, "Hey, I'm providing a valuable service," and, all my clients come away saying, "Man, these are great photographs," and that just gives me the biggest smile to be doing, my little part in this world to making the world a better place for golfers and sharing the joy, that I've found within this game.
Yeah, I totally get that, man, because, I spent 30 years in corporate America before I became a golf pro, and, I remember doing a couple playing lessons when I first started offering like, you can't just, throw your shingle out there and you get, we have 5,500 students now. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen overnight, right? So, but I remember, like, doing my first couple playing lessons, right? 9 holes, I'm playing with someone at their club, I'm playing with someone at the local muni, and I just thought, like, "Man, I cannot believe I'm getting paid to do this." Right?
Yeah,
I'm I'm
it is.
playing golf with someone, and I'm getting paid, and I'm gonna give 'em a little report on how they can play better, and it was just,
Yeah,
like, the best thing, man. I was like, "This is fantastic, man." And to your point earlier, I just wanted to be better at it. I wanted to be the best at it. I wanted to be better
yeah.
at it, and that's, pretty much the same thing. We just followed the same kinda drive, if you would. I would imagine that from the tour, the different tours, you've made so many golf contacts that it probably has spurred, like, a business out of it, right? Like, the
Yeah.
you wouldn't know these people, and you wouldn't have the chance to maybe you would have the chance because you do have drive, but it was a heck of a lot easier doing what you did to get the notoriety that you did. Now these people are saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's reach out to this guy." Is that how it happened?
That was my thinking, in 2018 that I know golf is built on the network of people, and it's smaller than you might think, and they all
Right,
kinda know everybody, and I was like, if I can put my name out there and do some good work, and, obviously, since that first tour, I've gotten much better at photography, and my product and the things I deliver to my clients now are much more finely honed, and I think that also makes a difference, like, they want you have to deliver a good product, otherwise, it's
yeah,
like, "You're a nice guy, and I'm glad we know you, but, like, somebody's better." And it's like
yeah,
so I think that's really important. But, the amount of people that I met is, another regret. I wish I was better at just, like, continuing to network and continuing to make some of these people my friends, because
right.
there's so many great people that have offered me so much, and I wish I was better at thanking everyone and spending more time and following up and doing all of these things, because it was such a tremendous amount of people that were so helpful and so grateful and giving to the tour that it'd be like you almost wish that you could give back even more. Uh, and that's a cool feeling to know that it's not necessarily just about establish a network to benefit yourself, but establish a network for the better of everybody. And that's kind of changed my way of thinking, from more of a selfish endeavor to like, hey, this is good for everybody. And I wish I could have done more of that. I
Yeah,
tried my best, but
I
as you mentioned, we're all humans, and I do have a tendency. Yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic as well, which is a whole 'nother podcast.
yeah,
But I do have a tendency to make selfish decisions at times, and, that golf tends to shed a light on when I'm doing that, and I do my best to I've gotten less selfish in like incrementally so since I've been sober.
Yeah, so I look, I've only met you one time, man, and I didn't sense that selfishness at all, man, to be candid, and I watched you I especially watched more of the second tour than the first tour, but I didn't get that impression at all, man. It felt like it was almost like you're doing this not selfishly to break the record, you're doing this to, spotlight, like, a cool thing. Like, how many people would love to quit their job and play golf 580 times in 12 months?
Yeah.
That's like 20 million American men. Right? So, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and
there was that's great. I mean, I was living the dream and selfishly so. So I think,
right.
as an alcoholic, you have to be keenly aware of your shortcomings and admit
Yeah,
them
for sure.
and follow up them and do work there where you can. But yeah, there was a lot of really um, things that I loved that I wouldn't have changed anything for. So my cup was filled every day. But I appreciate you saying that you didn't get the selfish vibes from that. A lot of the stuff I was doing, for myself, but it was just a great plan.
Yeah,
I could get what I wanted from it, and then I could give. And the thing that surprised me most was how much I would love the charity fundraising aspect of it for the first tee. Met a lot of great kids, and we it became more of a passion about raising money than anything else at times. I would pitch hard with I had all my sponsors would give me some swag, and then we would after the round I'd show all the different swag and then like the donation things, suggested
right.
donations for whatever it would be a putter cover and stuff like that. And so I'd be all right, we got like $300 today for the first tee. Like that made me feel real good. That was kind of the surprising point because up until that point I'd really not undertook in any endeavors that benefited somebody, financially other than
Right.
myself. Right? I think a lot of Americans are like that. It's like, hey, I'm doing my job, so I make money for my family, and it was surprisingly fulfilling. And you see when it's done right. I mean, sometimes people just you can do charity work for selfish reasons. I feel like too, if you find a way to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this wasn't that. This was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think there's a picture in the book. I think it's when you're on your last when you finally, make that last putt for the record or whatever, and there's gotta be, like, 30 people in the picture, probably more than that, right? And they are all, like they're at a party, for God's sake, right? They are
Yeah.
so happy for you. You can just tell everybody's face is beaming, and, I think that was just a testimony to, like, hey, that's what it was to everybody. Not that it made, like, nat and it probably did make national news, but,
It
nothing
did.
positive really makes, a lot of national news, right? It's always negative, negative, negative,
Yeah,
and
true.
this was like it gives you a vibe of this positiveness, and an incredible, challenge, right? I mean, you played, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day, for God's sake, man. It was a crazy, fun thing to do. You pulled it off. The book is amazing. I highly recommend everyone read it. And look, if you're looking for, if you can afford you, because you're probably expensive now, man, because you're good at what you do, right?
Well,
These these golf course photographies, man, or pictures, I mean, are amazing. You have a website, right? Give us the website again.
yeah, it's pjkoenig.com,
Okay.
pjkoenig.com. That's my Instagram handle, so
Yep.
I said, "Let's go with pjkoenig.com," and there's more golf photographs on there than you could shake a stick at, but I do have to back up and tell you, I did instruct everybody on that final group when I made that putt to just go nuts. So I
Time
forced
of your life
everybody to
kind
be
of thing.
happy. I was like, "I know you guys are all misery, it's freaking raining out here, but just pretend this is great." And I don't
All
think they
right.
had to pretend too hard. My buddy
Well, they
John and
pulled it,
Joey,
man. It looked amazing.
it was good fun. It was funny because when Josh made his final putt, and I was on the news somewhere, I think it was like CNN or something, which these things tend to I mean, we had CNN in the front page of
Right.
the Wall Street Journal and sports section, but it was, Josh who set the record. His vibe was a little different, is it was just like him and, you could tell he was grinding. Like, once you
Right.
get over 580 courses, like, it's a lot of golf. Like, it becomes like, the arrow goes up faster in terms of, like, less enjoyment. And, he was like him and his buddy kinda made it, and they just kinda, like, hugged each other, and, like, it was a moment, right? But mine was very different with people throwing water, and then my buddy Joey and John carried me off of the 18th green on their shoulders at Chambers Bay, and,
Look at that.
I mean, I like to make it clear that when Jordan Spieth won the US Open there, nobody carried him off on their shoulders.
Noted. Absolutely noted, man. Well, listen,
Yeah, so I
Patrick,
mean
Go
it was
ahead,
a
man.
ride, and, it's always fun to talk about. I hopefully you can sense that I can just keep on going.
Yeah, 100%. We had a brief chat at the PGA show, and you could just tell right away, outgoing, gregarious, want to tell your story, want to listen. Not a lot of people want to listen anymore. So, which is
Sure.
what propelled me to get you on the podcast. So, look, to your point, man, I could have you on a million times. We'll probably whatever your next endeavor is, I'm sure I'll be watching. I'll drop the link to your site in the notes here. And absolutely, if you haven't checked out the book, people, it's a great read, man. Check out the book. I'll drop a link for that as well. Patrick, thank you so much for doing this. I know you're a busy guy. I really appreciate it. And if you come to Pennsylvania, especially Philadelphia, and don't look me up, man, I'm going to mother F you all over social media, man. Come on.
All right. Well, I'll put you on the list. We'll play some golf, but this was a real fun chat. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate
All
it.
right, Patrick. Thanks, man. All right, then. That's today's podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the follow button wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check out our site, imagingolf.com. Check out our YouTube page at Imagine Golf, and we're on all the social media platforms. I'm the same at Imagine Golf. And here's to getting you the swing and the game that you've always imagined. Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Hey, thanks for listening first and foremost. Handicaps haven't changed in over 35 years for one reason and one reason only. Traditional golf instruction just doesn't work. So if you're serious about getting that swing and game that you've always imagined, take a look at our site, imagingolf.com. Join our members only club. Check out my video series, or even take a virtual or in-person lesson with me. There is no one who's more passionate about making you better in the industry, and I guarantee you'll golf better, guaranteed, or everything is free.